Welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here, Ricardo Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarpe Jr. We'll get straight to it. The Washington Mystics start the second half of their season with a 92-84 win over the Connecticut Sun coming out of All-Star break. Washington had a really big third quarter. It was nice seeing them beat a team having a big third quarter to kind of create some separation. But their big three led the way once again. Ray, we'll start with you then, Cardo. Just your thoughts on how this one went for Washington as they have now officially moved to 3 games over 500.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of a all-star hangover in the first half. They came out, made some halftime adjustments in the third quarter. Basically, like you said, was a deciding factor in the game. They won that quarter 25-10, and they woke up. Holding the team to 10 points in the quarter. That's just lockdown, and just kind of halted everything the Sun had going on. Nisa Morrow, she was on one in the first half. She came out with 17, scored 4 points through the rest of the game. So yeah, man, that just shows the level of intensity that the Mystics added after the halftime break. Another solid game for Georgia. That's definitely encouraging. She as her play has begun to improve, the results have followed, and we've been saying the entire season how that point guard spot was important for them. And it's not like she had to be playing at an all-star level or anything, but just be serviceable and limit the mistakes to allow the big three to have space to do their thing, and other players to contribute as well. And that's what she's been doing over the past 3 or 4 games or so. So as she gets more consistent, I think we'll kind of see the Mystics round into shape and stack some wins as they've been doing. So that's definitely a good sign. Yeah, Kiki another double double, 20 and 10. Shakira 17 and 6. She was sniffing a double double, and another efficient game for Sonya. 22.69 from the field, 2 for 2 from three, and 8 for 9 from the free throw line. She had a couple tough games, prior to those two big wins heading into All-Star break, but she's been looking like herself the past 3 games, and of course, that's going to yield positive results for them. And it just looked like they're starting to click, man, which was expected to take a little time, being that they're such a young team. But and even the players that they're dependent on are still extremely young. So they're just kind of rounding themselves out, and then this is the perfect time to kind of hit this stride. Post All-Star break, down the stretch, teams are really going to be be looking to make those playoff pushes or establish themselves in regards to seeding. So yeah, man, it's always good to put one in the win column. And yeah, like you said, it was refreshing to see them come out and just kind of establish dominance in their third quarter, and effectively put the game away, even though Connecticut made a late push. This is kind of reverse of what we typically see. We usually see the Mystics kind of fall behind, then scrap their way back into it, but just not have enough to get over the finish line. And they were the ones that inflicted that damage tonight. So yeah, man, just good win overall.
Cardell, during pregame, you were talking about them taking care of some of these games with the part of the schedule where they have games with favorable matchups. How did you feel they did tonight with that?
I mean, they had a business they won, so they did, what they should do. The way they did it at times, they got to go back to the drawing board again. Give them some grace. All-Star game, hangover. Obviously, no one from the Sun was at All-Star weekend involved, like playing none of the key players. So you didn't have them kind of having that withdrawal. They like snap back into are we back with our team mode, so to speak, which happens. You probably gonna see it across the league with a lot of teams with a lot of players. But with that being said, they found a way to win the game. I look that third quarter might be their best quarter of the season, with their execution on both ends of the floor. They were just lights out on everything. Uh, they held Connecticut to 28% shooting from the field. They didn't make a three. Um, Obviously, out in 10 points. The only thing they didn't do was shoot well, you know what I mean? But they didn't need to. Their defense was just ridiculous, man. They shot 90% from the free throw line, and they made their only 3, and they only turned the ball over once, and they outscored them 25-10. So imagine if they shot a good percentage. They were 7-19 in that quarter. So imagine if they 50%. You know what I'm saying? They destroy them, and that's only a couple. They only a couple shots off from that. So it was impressive the way they put it together, and that's when Kiki and Shakira kind of woke up from being a little asleep in the first half or not, and then they got it going. But that fourth quarter, I caught the tail end of the post game interview with Shakira, and Shakira like, yeah, we gotta look at film and see what we did wrong. That's not how we want to close our quarters if we try and get where we want to go. And I respect her for saying that. She could have easily been like, yeah, man, we good, we won, but she like, nah, that was unacceptable in the fourth quarter. And she right. Connecticut woke up. They didn't shoot the best from the field overall, but they shot 75% from deep. Diamond Miller, Turk legend, she had a lot to do with that. 2 of 2 from deep, 3 of 3 from the line, 9 rebounds, and then the Mystics, they were just ice cold, and most of that was Kiki. Kiki 2 of 10. Overall, they were 5 of 21. Yeah, she still managed to get 6 points and 7 rebounds, but Kiki was shooting her usual percentage, which is 50%. Yeah, then it would have been even worse, and it wouldn't have been that close. And by the fact that they were cold in the fourth quarter, it allowed Connecticut to get right back in the game and make it a game where it should have just been, a blowout. They chill, like I was kind of saying in pregame, beat them up, get them up out of there, let the youngins play, and get ready for the next one. But regardless, they still found a way to win, and that's the name of the game, man. This is the test we want to see in the second half, because I know they're gonna get up for the good teams. But are you gonna have the mental focus and the discipline to knock off the teams you should beat? Because it doesn't make sense to beat the good teams or compete with the good teams, and then you keep laying eggs against teams you should beat. We feel like they're a playoff team. They're clicking. And the reason why I feel like they've been more consistent, again, that's why we did the probe on Georgia. She has a lot to do with that, where with her confidence going up and her just being solid. She don't have to be all world. You got 3 horses to carry the load offensively. Just don't make mistakes, compete defensively, and get them the ball where they need to get the ball. And then if they kick it back out to you because they double, hit the shot. And she's doing that. 50% from the field, 2 or 3 from deep. Then get to the free throw line where she had 5 assists, 3 turnovers, 3 rebounds, and she was a plus 16. She had the highest plus minus of everybody on the team. That's encouraging. So she's starting to get back to who she was before she tore her ACL, and that's very encouraging. That's only going to boost the morale and the stock of the Mystics as they continue to move forward in the season.
All right, player of the game for you guys.
And I will go with Kiki, man, but that day for 22 is nasty, dog. That was nasty. I'm gonna go with C-Tron. 22 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. She was missed consistent, 6 and 9. Even when Morrow was going crazy in the first half, especially in that first quarter. C-Tron was kind of the one kind of keeping them in it, so to speak. Until Kiki and Shakira got going. And then, Cody woke up, second half and joined the fray. She didn't shoot the best, but again, when she getting downhill, ain't nothing you could do. And she could get to the line and 7 to 8. So I'm going to roll with C-Tron. Sonya.
All right, Ray, different candidate, or you going with Sonya too?
Yeah, I think I agree with Sonya. Yeah, like the box score favors Kiki, but it looked like in the second half she was, what she should have did given how the game was going. She was saying, "I'm gonna get them up, and eventually some gonna go in." But yeah, like Cardell pointed out, like we've seen other times where if one player gets off to start that Anissa Morrow had, then it kind of gets off the rails. But Sonya was able to go blow for blow and kind of keep pace until they came out in that third quarter, was able to get some separation.
All right, Xfactor tonight.
For me, Cody. And the reason being, she played above her average. She averaging like 6, I believe. She scored 11. She's shooting in the 50s with a free throw percentage. Tonight she shot 87%. She was 7 to 8. But they lose by 8. See what I'm saying? Like they needed it eventually because of the full quarter that they had. But yeah, she was somebody that they couldn't really deal with. Lauren was right behind her, but yeah, what Cody produced, they needed it. You know what I mean? Especially with how Kiki was off, only where it was off. Well, she wasn't off. She just ain't taking a lot of shots. Guess they was keying in on her. But she found a way. She put points on the board and she was impactful. So off the bench. So she led the way with the bench points 11. So and they needed every bit of that because outside of her and Lauren, they ain't really get much production. So without her production, it could have been a different ball game with the way things flipped in the fourth quarter. So you gotta give her credit.
Right. Xfactor.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between Cody and Georgia, but it's getting to the point with Georgia where you can pretty much pencil this in, over the stretch of the last 4 or 5 games or so. But Cody was kind of a punch off the bench, which they did need. But also Lauren, she's been consistent as well over these last stretch of games, and that's definitely a good sign. She can come in and just provide this level of production. And give Shakira some spells, especially going down the stretch to get later in the season. 44 games is a lot for them. And yeah, just being able to continue to go deep into their bench like that. But yeah, for tonight, yeah, Cody's 11 off the bench was huge.
Yeah, I think the thing with Cody when she has good games, it just feels like like a different sport, but just like a really good change of pace back. She comes in the game and just immediately impacts it. And other teams just that what she offers in terms of that change of pace, other teams struggle with. Cardell, like you said, we were all excited, draft night about that ability, that innate ability to get downhill with that physicality. Like she's either finishing or you at the line. And getting to the line, like I know people love threes. Getting to the line is taxing on teams. And his body blows the teams. Also, when you're struggling to score, it's a great way to score? Getting to the line. That thing that she does very well. While the rest of her game that we saw in college, she has a rounded out game. When that joins her on this level, that'd be great. But this thing that she does really well, it's paid off for Washington in the games that she's had. In the really good games she's had, like you said, Cardell, she had 11. They won by 8. That's big. And Ray, I'm right with you. Lauren becoming, I think that was one of the things we were talking on the Focus last week, talking about reflecting on the first half and looking forward to the second half. If those youngsters could start to provide some type of consistency in what they offer off the bench, that goes a long way. Also, that along with that factoring into what you guys mentioned with Georgia, like that changes things for this team if they can start counting on some of these things. So we'll see what it looks like. We got some comments, so let's get to them. Area 11. See, this was a borderline perfect win. Would have liked to see them close out a little bit better, but we'll take it.
I don't say it's perfect. They were down in the first, and then the fourth quarter they almost literally lost it. So if it would have went the way like it did in the second or third, I'm with you. But look, they found a way. We're gonna chalk it up to All-Star hangover. This one, but the next one, they gotta get their act together because they got some heavy hitters to close out the season.
Yes, they do, especially on this 5-game homestand. You go from Connecticut, I think, straight to Dallas on Friday. You get Dallas in and they've been on one all year, all season. I felt like a ceiling type of night offensively and turning on defensively in the second half.
Yeah, for the most part, until they allowed the Sun to get confidence in the fourth. But yeah, the third quarter was, like I said, it was night defensively. They had them locked down. We said this from the get-go. We like that their offense has caught up, but that defense that they started the season with and they was getting wins, we said that from the beginning. They got to maintain that. That's what's going to separate them because, look, teams, Shakira, I like the combination of her and Kiki because Kiki is more of a traditional low post big. She'll step out here and there, but Shakira is the more versatile one. She can put the ball on the floor, shoot from the perimeter, and post up. She can do a little bit more. Her repertoire is more expanded, so they can play off one another. But again, they still play within the paint, so to speak, and C-Trons all over the place. Teams are going to key in on them. If they have off nights, it's going to be tough for them to score. It's just facts. Unless somebody is just lights out, like Anya Wary had a stretch where she was having like 17 a game. If you had that type of production and stuff, so what's going to keep them in game, especially in the playoffs in their first time, you got to lock teams down, and they have the personnel to do it because they have so many bigs that are versatile, that can move, they can bang, they can rebound, they can get out on perimeter for stretches. I ain't saying they can do it consistently, but they can get out there and hold up on guards and get back to the bigs and stuff like that. Shakira's athletic enough to be a rim protector. Lauren's just 6'7". She up there anyway. You know what I mean? So again, if they can hold it down defensively, especially on the perimeter at that point guard spot where like Georgia's just not being picked on and Flores as well, they'll be fine. You know what I mean? But they can't compromise the end of the floor and think they just going to outscore everybody because that's when they're going to get into trouble.
Sony looking like the all-star version, getting more comfortable with both scoring and playmaking. Would like to see her stay aggressive in that fourth, but baby steps.
I mean, they probably was claiming they was on her. She's not going to force bad shots because that can, that's pretty much sometimes that's as bad as a turnover, live ball turnover. You know what I mean? So, look, Kiki got going, Shakira got going in the third. They kept feeding the beast. Why not? You know what I mean? It's just that Kiki would have made her usual 50%. It's not even close. It's just that she was missing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, it happens. But regardless, they found a way to win.
Kiki back to being that bully double machine. Kara's still playing like she got a point to prove.
I mean, she do. I'm pretty sure if you talk to her, she feel like she was an all-star. She got snubbed. So if I'm her, I'm going to take it out on everybody in the second half and in the playoffs. So to bring home the point that y'all made a mistake.
Last few, Georgia's returning to form, becoming a consistent shooter is big for them.
She's the Xfactor.
Mm-hmm.
Got a Cody comment. If Cody can become that energizer off the bench like she did tonight, that's huge for them. And Beth's just got to keep getting stronger.
That's for sure. And Cody, she just, for her, it's just it's just harnessing her speed. That's all. Like I keep comparing it to when John Wall was young, just 100 miles per hour. And it's like, yo, slow down, man. Just slow down. She's getting better. But once she controls the speed and know when to go, when to slow it up and go mid-speed, and I'm off to the races, she's going to be hard to guard because her first step, and once she turn that corner, it's a wrap. All she got.
Yeah, hell yeah.
She's just she's going so fast, she just blows the layup. Because she can't slow down. She can't hit the brakes enough to just have the touch. You know what I'm saying? It's just all speed. So when she harnesses that thing at this level, and I get it because she's young, it's like if they catch up with me, it's a physical battle, and I'm not going to win it right now because I'm a rookie. But once she gets used to that, more and more used to that, and she harnesses that speed, once she turn the corner, it's going to be bad. She's going to live at the free throw line.
Yeah, John's a perfect example because those guards in the NBA that are dumb fast when they first get there, they're so damn fast that when the resistance they anticipate doesn't happen, that's those blown layups. You end up right there, and it's like, every time. But yeah, I can't wait till it does get harnessed. Shoot, if this is how the top 3 hoops off of hangovers, send the ass to party every weekend.
It worked tonight because they play in the sun. You gotta understand who you're dealing with.
How about
they ain't gonna work against the Wings and the Aces and the Lynx and the Valkyrie. No. Calm down now. They only 3 games above 500. Calm down.
They need every bit of these 3 sober days till Friday to take on Dallas. Glad that the first one was back. But we appreciate y'all. We'll check in with y'all later this week for pregame outlook as this homestand continues. And just agreeing with this, Cody getting downhill like she does brings the curveball. Hell yeah. Like for sure. But y'all have a good evening, and we'll see y'all soon.